Today, we're uncovering the 9 habits that could be keeping you broke and how to break them before they break you. Let's dive in and reclaim your financial freedom. 1. Living beyond one's means. This is one of the most common bad habits that causes people to live paycheck to paycheck. It refers to the situation where a person spends more than they earn. If you find yourself not having sufficient money at the end of the month after paying for your expenses, it is likely that you are trapped by this habit. Living beyond one's means can often turn into a dangerous cycle of debt as people start relying on credit cards for personal loans to cover the shortfall between earning and spending. To break free from this habit, it is recommended that individuals begin by categorizing their spending into needs and wants. Needs are essential expenses such as housing, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Wants are things we would like to possess and are desirable but not essential for basic needs and survival. This could include items like dining out at restaurants, leisure-based travel, streaming services, frequently upgrading your gadgets, and so on. After categorizing the expenditures, you should take steps to eliminate and cut back on those expenses that are not essential. 2. Paying for status. Many of us are trapped in this habit where we spend money on goods or experiences that are intended to showcase our social or economic status. People try to signal that they are better than others based on buying the latest iPhone, a new sport car, luxury watches, and so on. While buying such items may provide you with a temporary sense of accomplishment, yet in the long run, doing this will make you accumulate credit card debt, live beyond their means, or neglect saving for important financial goals like retirement or emergencies. To break free from this habit, it is recommended to constantly remind yourself that the consequence of financial stress outweighs the perceived social benefits of paying for status. Moreover, remind yourself that paying for status is a never-ending cycle, as there will always be something new and better that will make the things that you buy to be outdated. 3. Not paying yourself first. Robert Kiyosaki explains that when people receive income, they tend to react in one of 2 different ways. The first way, the poor people's way, is when, as soon as you receive your paycheck, you use it to pay rent, phone bills, groceries, and other day-to-day items. If there is any amount left over at the end of the month, you set that aside as part of your savings. The second way is called the rich people's way, and in this approach, the moment you receive any income or amount, you immediately set a minimum of 10% aside as your savings. All the other expenses are deducted and managed after that. In this method, you pay yourself first before all other things. It prioritizes saving money by forcing you to treat paying yourself as a mandatory expense rather than the traditional approach in which you decide on at the end of the month. The pay yourself first method is a creative way to save money. 4. Not keeping a record of your money. Most of us think that we know where our money comes from and where it ends up. Sadly, that's not true. We might be aware of our major expenditures, but the small things usually eat up our finances more than the big ones. All financial gurus agree that one of the most important personal finance habits is to start keeping a record of your income and expenses. The reason behind this recommendation is that we are only be able to manage and control finances if we have data about it. However, in most cases, it may not be easy to track every little expense on a point-by-point basis. Therefore, it is recommended to at least have a general or rough estimate of what is coming in and what is going out. To start off, you can begin by preparing a simple list of the different sources of income that you have coming in each month. Thereafter, you can prepare a list of expenses in the same way. You can then add in approximate figures to each category of income and expense. After doing this for at least 2 to 3 months, you can increase the level of detail that you are maintaining. This sheet will provide you with important data on your financial position at the end of each month, and from there you can make plans on how you will manage your finances. 5. Forgetting about subscriptions. This refers to the habit of signing up for various subscription services or memberships and then neglecting to use them, cancel them, or keep track of them. This can lead to unnecessary and often unnoticed recurring expenses, which can strain your budget over time. In today's world, most of the subscription services are set up in a way that makes it easy to sign up because they are offering free trials or low discounted prices. This often leads to impulsive sign-ups without considering the long-term commitment. The issue here is that people often sign up for subscriptions but forget to cancel them. In some cases, people use these subscription services minimally in a way that does not justify the price being paid. For example, you may have a video subscription for $10, which is a reasonable amount. However, if you have 4 such video subscriptions, which are rarely used, then this amounts to $40 a month or $480 per year. To overcome this habit, it is important to regularly review your bank and credit card statements and identify all these recurring charges. Thereafter, you should identify those that you no longer need and take steps to cancel them. 6. Impulse buying. Everyone loves a little retail therapy now and then, but when impulse buying becomes a habit, your financial well-being is at stake. Impulse buying is the act of making unplanned purchases, often driven by emotions or external stimuli, without considering the long-term financial repercussions. These purchases might bring a fleeting sense of happiness, but they inevitably derail your finances. Over time, impulsive spending can lead to a pile of unused items, debt, and the daunting task of climbing out of a financial hole. Curb impulse spending by making it a personal rule to wait 24 hours before deciding to buy any non-essential item. 7. Relying too heavily on credit. The modern economy thrives on credit, making it incredibly easy to fall into the trap of spending money you don't have. Relying heavily on credit cards or loans for daily expenses or impulsive purchases can lead to mounting debts and skyrocketing interest payments. Credit is often seen as free money, but in reality, it's a loan that comes with a cost of interest. When you become reliant on credit, you're essentially living beyond your means. Not only can high interest rates make the debt almost impossible to pay off, high balances on your credit card, especially if you miss a payment, can damage your credit score. Breaking free from the chains of credit dependency requires a shift in mindset and a disciplined approach to spending. It's about understanding the true cost of credit. The reality is, if you need credit to buy it, you can't afford it. 8. Focusing on the present without caring about the future. Usually, when people find it hard to tackle a problem, they choose to ignore it. That's a sure recipe for disaster. The same is the case with your finances. Generally, people focus on their present needs, wishfully thinking that future needs will somehow be met in some way. You need to take the future into perspective whenever you are making any financial decision. Although it is good to take care of everything in the present, do your best to save for your future. Breaking free from this habit requires you to start focusing on investments and budgeting. If you struggle with understanding the different types of investment options, it is recommended that you at least start with investing your money into fixed deposits until you learn and understand other investment opportunities that are available. 9. Falling for get-rich-quick schemes. When it seems too good to be true, it usually is. Get-rich-quick schemes, dubious investments promising unrealistic returns, and financial scams often capitalize on greed rather than prudent decision-making. Do your due diligence and don't chase dubious money-making hype. There are no shortcuts to building wealth safely over the long term. It's very expensive to attempt to get rich quicker. The faster the action and greater the greed, the more expensive the mistake will be. Remember, every financial journey starts with a single step, and breaking these habits is yours. Before you go, drop a comment below. Which habit are you breaking first? Let's champion our financial journeys together. As always, if you found this video enlightening, give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button for more financial wisdom.